Alright, so the time has come for me to finally put out my 2019 Game Awards video. I know, it's late as shit, but I've been working very heavily on my own game, and I did not have much time to finish some of the games that I wanted to, mainly Death Stranding, which took me a while to get through. But I'm finally ready to make this video, so I don't want to wait any longer. Before I begin though, I just want to say that I can't play every game that comes out, so I did miss out on a few, mainly Sekiro, Disco Elysium, and Outer Wilds. But I did play and give my thoughts on 28 different games in 2019, which was 14 more than I did in 2018. So I think I still played a good amount of stuff. And now, with that out of the way, let's get right into my Game Awards for 2019. I will be breaking it down into 10 different categories, so get ready to celebrate some great games. First up, we have the award for the Best Game World, recognizing the games with incredible atmosphere, fascinating level design, and detailed world building. The nominees are Control, Metro Exodus, A Plague Tale: Innocence, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Jedi: Fallen Order, and Remnant from the Ashes. I absolutely love the game worlds we got this past year, and each of them were incredible in their own way, but I have to pick just one winner and one runner-up. For the runner-up, I'm gonna have to go with The Division 2, because I just love the level of detail. It's a near one-to-one recreation of Washington, D.C., and it is packed to the brim with stuff to see. I've been to DC close to 10 times in my life, and it was so cool to be able to walk down the street and actually orient myself just with my real world knowledge of DC. But for the winner, I'm gonna go with Metro Exodus. This game easily has some of the best post-apocalyptic environments ever realized, with so many memorable locations. The atmosphere is also top-notch, and it's one of the best open worlds in recent years. It's such a captivating world to play through that I have to give it my top spot. Now we have the award for the best music of 2019, and we certainly got some great soundtracks this year. Here are the nominees. After Party, Rage 2, Death Stranding, Borderlands 3, A Plague Tale: Innocence, and Metro Exodus. Okay, so there were several games with really good scores this past year, like Metro with its great ambient pieces, Rage 2 with its aggressive electro rock, After Party with its bouncin' club bangers, and Borderlands 3 with its smooth, synth-heavy tracks. All four of these were really good, but there are two that just stand far above all else: A Plague Tale: Innocence and Death Stranding. These soundtracks are absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot stress that enough. Olivier de Riviere, the composer of 2018's Best Music winner, Vampire, is back with A Plague Tale, giving us a fantastically dark orchestral score with lots of big droning strings and drums. But after thinking it over, I'm gonna have to give A Plague Tale the runner-up spot because Death Stranding's use of music is just too good. The score itself is a brilliant mix of synth strings and melodies with perfect vocals overlaid at just the right moments. And then on top of that, all the licensed music that Kojima added to the game is perfectly placed and guaranteed to get stuck in your head. And for that, Death Stranding takes the award for Best Music of 2019.
Asylums for the feeling.
With good stories comes good voice acting to help bring it all together. Here are the nominees for Best Voice Performance. Barry Sloane, Captain Price.
Captain Price.
Sergeant Carrick.
You with me?
Dave Fennoy, Satan.
The real question, Milo, is what did you do to deserve anything else?
Mads Mikkelsen, Cliff Unger.
We're getting out of here. I promise.
Matthew Porretta, Dr. Darling.
Welcome to the research sector of the Federal Bureau of Control. I'm Dr. Casper Darling, head of research.
And Darren Jacobs, Hartman.
Everything consumable within a 21-minute window.
This is one of the new categories I added this year, and I'm excited to have it because good voice acting is essential in bringing together lots of these stories. For the winner, though, I'm gonna have to go with Barry Sloane's performance as Captain Price. I just love hearing his voice, so much so that the old one just doesn't feel the same anymore. Barry Sloane is Captain Price, and I'm so excited to see him return in the sequels.
End of the day, someone has to make the enemy scared of the dark. We get dirty, and the world stays clean. That's the mission.
And now for the runner-up, I'm actually going to go with Darren Jacobs' performance as Hartman. Now, don't get me wrong, Mads Mikkelsen is fantastic as Cliff and should be recognized, but I just loved talking to Hartman too much. He had some of my favorite interactions in Death Stranding, and I loved his semi-playful attitude towards his terrible predicament, and for that, I think he edges out Mads.
Time spent waiting to go back to the Satch. My body may be present, but my soul is on the beach. I'm already dead.
This award goes to the game with the best overall look, whether that be hyper-realistic graphics, beautiful RTX implementation, or great art direction. Here are the nominees. Death Stranding, Metro Exodus, Close to the Sun, Resident Evil 2, Control, A Plague Tale: Innocence. We got another year of great looking games all around, but 2019 also marked the time when I believe RTX finally realized some of its potential, so it's no surprise that my winner and runner-up are both games with RTX implementation. For the runner-up, I'm going to go with Control, for its great use of color and lighting, its weird and wild sci-fi environments, and its perfect implementation of ray trace reflections. Once you turn them on, it's really impossible to go back. But for the winner, I have to go with Metro Exodus because it is quite possibly the best looking game ever. The RTX global illumination ushers in a new era of realistic lighting that makes all the difference in the world. The textures are also highly detailed, and as I mentioned earlier, the environments are just some of the best I've ever seen. So I have to give it to Metro. This year was a bit light in the story department for me personally, though I did miss out on Disco Elysium, which I've heard has a great narrative. But despite nothing being totally next level, we did get some really good stories. So here are the nominees. Metro Exodus, Jedi Fallen Order, A Plague Tale: Innocence, and Death Stranding. Starting off the list, Metro Exodus had a simple story that was told really well through the great environments and fantastic pacing. Jedi Fallen Order had a similarly simple story, but the interesting worlds and characters helped pull it all together and keep me really interested. But then we get to my runner-up winner, Death Stranding, with its unapologetically weird visuals and story beats that pulled me in and kept me invested throughout the entire 50-hour journey. After that though, we get to 2019's winner for narrative, A Plague Tale: Innocence. This game presents you with a haunting world and forces the cast of child characters to make their way through increasingly horrific events. It then leads into the supernatural, presenting you with some of the most interesting encounters I've seen in recent games. And for that, it takes the award for 2019. This is the award for the game that had the best design, whether that be from the overall direction, the level design, fantastic mechanics, or a great structure and flow. The nominees are Resident Evil 2, Death Stranding, A Plague Tale: Innocence, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Metro Exodus, and Hunt Showdown. We got a lot of really well-designed games this year. It's hard to choose a runner-up, but I'm going to go with A Plague Tale: Innocence because I really loved how well the puzzles and stealth work contextually. They're not particularly challenging or anything, but within the context of how the rats work and how they react to light, they are extremely fun to play through. But for the winner, I'm going to have to go with Metro Exodus. It's just one of the best open world games I've ever played, and I cannot describe just how good the pacing is. It is near perfect. It never overstayed its welcome, and the final level is one of the single greatest things I've played in years. So, without a doubt, Metro's the winner here. Now we come to the category made for the games that really took me by surprise this year, whether they just came out of nowhere or were much better than I expected. These are the games that surprised me in 2019. The nominees are Risk of Rain 2, Hunt Showdown, Remnant from the Ashes, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, A Plague Tale: Innocence, and Anno 1800. I was really happy with the amount of surprises we got this past year, and I really hope 2020 can keep it up. For me though, the winner is The Division 2. I gotta be honest with you guys, before this game came out, I kinda thought this was gonna suck, but the campaign just blew me away. And yes, the story was absolute trash, but the mission structure was so incredibly fun and varied, especially for a game taking place on Earth where you fight humans. It just seemed like it was going to be another run-of-the-mill shooter with a cool world, but it knocked it right out of the ballpark with its campaign. After that, the runner-up is Hunt Showdown. Now for this one, I thought I would like it, but I didn't realize how much I would like it, because man was this fun. It offered up some of the most tense and interesting gunplay I've had in a while, and it oozes with style. My friend Pete and I put around 50 hours into this, and we look forward to going back at some point in the future. Now, not all games are created equal, and these games certainly fell short in one way or the other. Whether they were just terrible on all fronts, or had some annoyingly obvious flaw that took away from a good core game, these are the games that just let me down. The nominees are Anthem, The Sinking City, Sea of Solitude, Close to the Sun, Rage 2, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. As for the reasons all these games disappointed me, in Rage 2, the combat was fantastic, but most other aspects were pretty mediocre or bad. Close to the Sun, on the other hand, had a great atmosphere and gorgeous visuals, but the story had a god-awful ending. Moving on to the less than decent games, Sea of Solitude was a gorgeous game with a cool idea that just needed to be written and voice acted by anyone else because man, that shit sucked. And Anthem was just fucking terrible. I mean, nearly every single thing about that game was complete shit. But it's not the most disappointing, because it always looked off to me and I predicted it would not be very good. The first loser though, well, all these games are kind of losers in their own way, but the first real loser, the runner-up, is The Sinking City. Just because I don't know if I've ever enjoyed the start of a game and then come across a mechanic that was so horrendous that I actually just stopped playing the whole game. The Sinking City has some offensively bad combat that made me turn it off and never look back. But all that has nothing on the real winner, or loser, Wolfenstein Youngblood. Jesus Christ, what a letdown. Following two great games, I was super excited to see where this co-op spin-off would go, and man was I disappointed. They added idiotic RPG mechanics, they totally wasted the 80s setting, the co-op was fundamentally broken, you can check my video on it, it was actually busted. The characters were annoying shitbags and every cutscene was awful. It wasn't as bad as some of the other games on this list because at least the shooting mechanics themselves were really good, but after two really great Wolfenstein games, this one just has to take the award for most disappointing game of 2019. And now we get to the final award of the evening, the big one, my Game of the Year for 2019. This is the award for my personal favorite game, meaning that my review scores don't necessarily matter for this as it's based solely off what my favorite game was. Here are the nominees. Hunt Showdown.
Rise up, dead man, let the gunshots ring.
A Plague Tale: Innocence.
I'm sorry. We have to get out. Just run as fast as you can.
Tom Clancy's The Division 2.
We are the Division. And history will remember us.
Metro Exodus.
Could such things exist again? I live in hope.
Resident Evil 2.
You don't know what you're up against.
I have a pretty damn good idea.
Claire, get out. Get out now!
And Death Stranding.
We want you to go west and finish what Emily started. The people she left behind have been hard at work, setting up Cairo network terminals.
Now, all these games are great, as you've heard me gush about it throughout the rest of the video, so without any more delay, I'm just going to get right into it and call the winner. My Game of the Year 2019 is Metro Exodus, with A Plague Tale: Innocence being the runner-up. Metro was just so far and away my favorite experience of 2019. The perfect pacing, the amazing atmosphere in the world, they're just some of the best I've ever seen, and aside from the facial animations, I think it may be the best looking game ever. It's got some rough edges, but I can't recommend this game highly enough. If you haven't played it, it's available for free on Xbox Game Pass and Game Pass for PC. Go play it, trust me, it's worth it. Alright, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure you let me know what your favorite games were in the comments below or on the poll at the top right of your screen. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking around and sorry it took so long to get this video out. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Take care and stay safe with this whole coronavirus thing. Due to that, since I'll be inside even more than I normally am, I'm probably going to start streaming again, so keep an eye out for that. And I'll see you in the next video.